Hey, GothamGeekGirl here. Time for another review. I got to watch the first few episodes of the exciting new Disney Plus adaptation of the popular book series Percy Jackson and the Olympians, coming soon to Disney Plus. So the new live-action series Percy Jackson, it's a fun coming-of-age fantasy. It sheds new light on the beloved franchise by YA author Rick Riordan, and it combines Greek mythology and middle school drama. The whole family absolutely can enjoy this epic adventure full of friendship. It offers a fun balance of comedy, lore, and action. So, Percy Jackson, the series, takes Greek mythology into the 21st century. It follows a 12-year-old boy named Percy who discovers that he's a demigod. He's coming to terms with his newfound divine powers when the sky god Zeus accuses him of stealing his master lightning bolt. With his new friend's help, Percy must restore order to Olympus. It stars Walker Scobell, Leah Sava Jeffries, Aryan Simhadri, Virginia Kull, and Megan Mullally. Our young protagonist is played by Walker Scobell, who I was already impressed with his work, with his performance in the Adam Project. So the story follows the young teen, and he's bullied at school, by his peers. At home, he has an unkind stepfather, and despite all these troubles, he loves his mom. He's a very caring mom, and things get turned upside down when he discovers that Greek mythology and creatures and gods are all around us. So the two-episode premiere is on December 20th on Disney Plus. I actually have not read the books. I'm going based off what I experienced being introduced to the character, and what knowledge I have surrounding the series. But I know enough to understand that there's a massive and devoted fan base, and that the previous film adaptations were not that well received. His novels were adapted for live action in 2010 with Logan Lerman, and 10 years later, through the use of streaming television and updated visual effects, we now have Percy Jackson again. So Rick Riordan became a household name in children's fantasy literature when he debuted the first six novels, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, back in 2005. With the series, it started with the Lightning Thief, and readers became invested in the struggles of this 12-year-old. And he had a mother who fell in love with an unknown god, and she raised Percy on her own. And Percy starts to discover who he is and that he has supernatural abilities, and he starts to go on this epic quest. So this time, the series has really high expectations. The author's a lot more involved in the creative process this time. He's working with some promising showrunners. Stamberg and Dan Schatz, known for gritty adult dramas like Jeff Bridges' Spy Thriller The Old Man, and surprisingly back sales. So Percy Jackson falls squarely into children's fiction, but this is a genre that people love, so maybe some newcomers will be introduced to this character and enjoy it. It's definitely fun, family friendly, and you don't need any prior knowledge of the series to enjoy this, which I really appreciate. The series is a great choice for Disney. It's family friendly. It's a lot of, it has a great live action budget that's typically aimed at adults. And, the author definitely knows and understands this like kind of epic journey and what this kid is going through. Like he has a social like awkwardness, and he's going on like this huge world saving quest. Meanwhile, he was like used to being a loner. So there's great like character development and a lot of charming personalities that will take the television series to new heights. Walker Scobell is fantastic. He's a 12-year-old social outcast. He's targeted by bullies. His teachers misunderstand him. He has ADHD and dyslexia. And he soon discovers that he has supernatural powers, and things really come to a head in episode one when a teacher transformed into a winged monster and attacks him. He says, Look, I didn't want to be a half blood. Walker Scobell embodies a preteen looking for solace and friendship. Percy Jackson and the Olympians really approaches this in like an authentic way, like discovering one's own abilities. Puberty, like teenagers growing up and dealing like with their parents. And the show does a great job in letting like supporting characters really shine. Um, it has a fantastic cast of supporting characters, and they really play well together. The series is really at its best when dealing like with Percy's friendships and his own internal like personal struggles. It's actually pretty funny, and he's a really relatable protagonist. You can already see the groundwork for his friendship with Annabeth and Grover, his BFF, and they become like a really tight knit team as the adventure goes on. He befriends a new classmate, Grover, back when he was in real school, and Grover ends up becoming some kind of spirit animal, and he serves as a protector and a friend. There's an epic battle with the Minotaur. I don't want to get into too much detail because I don't want to hit spoiler territory, but when he kills this god, he ends up joining this camp. And this is where Percy uncovers the truth that, his whole life has been a lie. A lot was hidden from him about who his father is. And in this camp, he meets some friends. Annabeth, who challenges Percy's every move, and Annabeth recruits Percy to be on her team for Capture the Flag, and this is really where he starts to kind of fit in. And Annabeth, she's really smart. I really like her character, and she kind of knows that Percy, there's more to him, and he ends up being the son of Poseidon, god of the sea. And Scobell really gives Percy a level of self-doubt and isolation, but he progresses on his own journey, and you can see like that he starts to gain confidence and inner strength and courage, like when it's needed. He really has great chemistry with Jeffries and Simhadri, and it's a pleasure to watch the team like as they grow and like mature. Their charm and like ability really make it easy to get behind the trio. There's another young, talented cast member, Charlie Bushnell, who plays Camp Half-Blood Counselor Luke. He's warm and compassionate, and surprisingly, Percy is excited to like meet a new friend. He's like a brotherly mentor, and he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he's great in all the moments that he does. Even after being handed a magic sword and then he's a demigod, uh, Percy still has, troubles with bullies and other stresses of childhood, feeling like powerless, conflicts with adults. And these introductory episodes are great. They're pretty simple so far, but they add a lot of like Percy dealing like with mentors. There's the boozy god, Dionysus, Jason Montezukis. So who he gives a great comedy to it, but kind of has like lackluster world building for me. The visual effects could have been better. The mythological monsters were great for the special effects, but I think they could have been a little better. There's some uh like I don't know, like the story is really captivating. It's going to entertain many like casual fans and longtime fans. So it's definitely a win for Disney Plus. Uh, but like I said, the visuals didn't really do enough for me. I feel like in terms of like, let's say comparing to like Harry Potter, um, the fantasy world building, it's not that interesting. Uh, there's a lot of like introductions for like various gods and monsters, and I think they look great, but the setting doesn't give the same like feeling or something like I said, like Narnia or Harry Potter or like Avatar. The world building is very bland. Um, oh, terrible lighting, absolutely terrible lighting, which has been a problem for a while during like dark scenes, especially the fight with the Minotaur. So Disney has money to spend on CGI like the Minotaurs and LED sound stages, but they could have done a better job in terms of effort for making locations memorable. I feel like it doesn't have a lot of mystique in this like mythological world. The music was very Marvel. There's a really cool end credit scene with beautiful artwork, reminded me of Marvel. But Percy definitely, this adaptation, it borrows a lot of the same storylines that Rodian wrote in The Lightning Thief, introducing characters to a younger generation, but it still holds true components that make Percy Jackson an entity worth rooting for. So you really fall in love with the character. The writing in the first two episodes already, it's very like quick-witted. There's great action, and Percy's journey, you really see where the characters are going. It doesn't break new ground for a character that's been remade, but it does give new light to a beautiful story that's meant for younger viewers. So, like I said, outstanding character development, fantastic personalities. Hopefully, the show will succeed and we'll get to see additional seasons. Maybe things will start to get a little deeper in later episodes. Um, and at this rate, Percy Jackson, like I said, it's fun, it's well paced, it's a fun and exciting, although generic, coming of age fantasy formula. Well, I definitely think you should check this out. Like I said, I am not familiar with the books, but I'm still really intrigued and excited to, see more of this character's progression and where the story goes. And this trio, I'm really excited to see where they go. Like I said, I think so far in establishing this characters, it's done a great job in getting you involved and wanting to see how the story progresses, how you see what happens with his mother, in finding his father, and really learning his abilities, and I guess coming to terms like with who he is in terms of learning he's a demigod. Like I said, my main issues are minor. It's mostly visual effects wise. But otherwise, I think it's a great time, and I definitely am excited to check out the rest of the season. Percy Jackson and the Olympians will premiere the first two episodes Wednesday, December 20th on Disney Plus. Episode 1 will also be available to stream on Hulu, followed by weekly episodes.